Hey, what's up? What's up? It's your girl Neek, and you're tuned in to Neek at Night. And tonight we're going to be talking about Jane Doe in the Diddy trial. Now, Jane Doe is revealing a lot of the same sentiments as Kathy, except for she hasn't introduced the idea yet, as far as I've read, of him putting the pause on her. Now, when Cassie took the stand, she talked a lot about how, in between these escapades, he would put the pause on her, and then she would have to do these things that she didn't really want to do. They would get these guys off Craigslist, Backpage, and all these other places, and so much more. Well, the new Jane Doe that hit the stand, she talked about how in the beginning, she was with it. She wanted to make Diddy happy. She wanted to do what he liked and enjoyed. And in order to do that, that brung on them basically experimenting with other men in their bedroom situation. Now, as things went on and on and on, she got her situation to where she got her $10,000 a month home. And after that, it was off to the races with however many guys she had to get with in order to satisfy him and fulfill his baby oil situation. Now, I did some tweaks to my mic. Let me know if the sound quality is better. I know a lot of people always complain about, oh, your mic is too high, your mic is too low, this, that, this, that, this, that. I did some research, I did some tweaks, I did some stuff. So hopefully the sound is a little bit better. I'm not sure how it's coming through now that I've gone live, but hopefully it's going good. Now, I'm going to go. Thank you so much for the comments. The compliments. I'm going to go through all of the things that has been revealed on Inner City Press today. And I'm going to talk about all of the different nuances. Now, as Jane Doe, the newest witness on the stand, as she started her testimony, the internet started to speculate as to who she might be and what the situation at hand is. Now, a lot of people from anybody who's watching the trial has made comments, but one person in particular who started to basically troll is 50 Cent. Now, after Jane Doe took the stand, 50 Cent started to question who she was. He started to make jokes about her, saying that she would have Bert and Ernie as the nickname. He also, in addition, posted a picture of Bert and Ernie in lingerie. And then he was curious to who Jane Doe was. Now, today, he continued his troll, and he started to share sketches of what the court sketch artist drew. And he also simultaneously started to post his baby mama as well. And he was just posting around asking like who Jane Doe was. Now, a lot of the blogs started to pick that up, and they're like, 50 Cent is curious about who Jane Doe is. He's posting his baby mama. He's posting this. He's posting that. He's trolling with Bert and Ernie and all of the things. So he has been trolling a lot. Now, I'm not sure what the correlation is, but that's the goings-ons that is going on, all right? And I'm not sure, meaning I can't tell y'all what the correlation is, if you get my drift. But that's what's going on social media as this testimony is playing out, okay? Now, let's get into some of the things that are being said. Now, when I just got on to Inner City Press, the first tweet that pops up that he posted was a tweet that Jane said, and Jane said, you can't take any, okay, so the first tweet when I opened up Inner City Press is this tweet right here. Let me take a screenshot of it because I'm just like, what is Diddy's fixation on watching other men's privates go into the women that he's interested in? It seems like he was more focused on the male talent and how that interacted with his lady that he was entertaining than how the woman or how what she got. I don't know. It's just a weird situation. But the first post that came up was this one. Okay, now we're gonna read through all of them, but this one just stuck out, and I was just like, child, what is happening here? Jane, he said, you can't take any more D. She said, I threw the bracelet and said, you only brought me here to suck D for you. She said, you only brought me here so I can suck D for you. So I'm like, is this one of those things to where, like, is he fantasizing about doing it, but obviously he probably doesn't want the rumors of being, so instead he gets pleasure in seeing the girl do it on his behalf? Because, like, what's tea when she's saying, you only brought me here to suck D for you? I was thinking, I was talking, then sat on the steps of a villa. They said, did Sean talk? She said, yes. He said, how can you make me look like that in front of Paul? Okay? How can you make me look a particular type of way in front of Paul, talking about I only brought you here to suck some? Child, that is the sentiment that has been going on all day. It has been a whole lot of revealed. And yesterday when she first took the stand, I'm going to just give you guys a little bit of the backstory on what they were saying. So she grew up in California and she's a model, influencer. She's, a person who has a social media presence. She also has other basically like IG baddie type friends. And the way that she was able to meet Diddy was through one of her other baddie friends. And her friend basically was dating Diddy at the time. And that's how they met. Her friend invited her out. They were, I believe, on a yacht. They're kicking it. And then when out of view of everybody else, Diddy catches her in the hallway, away from her friend, brushes up against her like, hey, take my number down. And she's basically like, oh, you're dating my friend. I probably shouldn't take your number. Like, you're dating my friend type of thing. And then that's how they started to associate. After they got acquainted and her friend moved on to another baller and moved out of the country, she started dating Diddy. And she said the first thing that she wanted him to know was, hey, are you okay with the fact that I'm a single mother? I'm a mother of one child, and my child's baby daddy or whoever does not get along with you. You guys are kind of like, rivals. Y'all don't really get along. So are you cool with that type of situation? And are you cool with me being a single mom, blah, blah, blah? And are you cool with the fact that you don't get along with my baby daddy? All right. So she gave him those disclaimers and he was cool with it. So they started to rendezvous. And when they started to rendezvous, it was like 9 days in Turks and Caicos and 6 days, I think, was it in Barbados or somewhere? And they went and she went off to this trip with him for 9 days, one place, 6 days, another place. And they go on this trip. And when they go on this trip, he immediately pops pills in her mouth. She says that she's high the whole time. And according to her, they were just making love and endless amounts of love. And they were just, in awe of each other. after the trip was over, she stated that she was going back home, and because he took her away from her lively responsibilities of being I guess, this content creator influencer, and took her away from her bag. Oh, it was the Bahamas, my bad, not Barbados. He had took her away from her bag. He decided to give her a $10,000 thank you for the wham bam, thank you, ma'am, and that'll cover your expenses for the time that we were, popping these pills and freaking off. Now, after that, they started to get more acquainted, and he also was simultaneously entertaining other women. Now, this Jane Doe was dealing with him, and her timeline of dealing with him, it also coincided with the time that he was dealing with Young Miami. So this Jane Doe, who is not Young Miami, was also dating Diddy at the same time that he was dating Young Miami, and their timelines kind of coincide. So she says that, as they're getting acquainted, she's spending time with him. He's kind of, giving her a piece of change here and there, giving her a little coin here and there. They decide to spice things up. So as they decide to spice things up, he wanted to introduce a male into the equation. So she stated that she basically was watching, freaky videos with him, and they were looking at, I guess, this particular performer that was an adult performer. And I don't know if he was a solo performer or he was, shaboinking a performer, doing a girl. But they were watching this video, and as they were watching the video, they basically saw a guy that they both kind of thought like, oh, he's kind of cool, whatever. And Diddy decided, oh, this what you like? This what you like? You like him? Diddy decided to reach out to said person and bring him into the fold. So Diddy calls this guy over, and this is their first time bringing a male into the equation. And the Jane, she basically said, hey, before we get going in this whole rendezvous, is there a condom that he can put on before he, shaboinks? Diddy, to him, he felt like, adult performers get tested regularly, and there's no need for you to use any protection. Like, they get tested every 20, 24, 21 days, whatever the case may be. So don't worry, no problem. Don't use one. So that was his assurance. And every time I hear people use the analogy of they get tested every 21 days, I just cringe, because within those 21 days, anything can happen. So it's like, but okay, whatever. So she says they basically get involved with one another, and she starts shaboinging this male performer. And after she shaboings him, I think she said they did use a condom, and then he took it off and he finished on top of her lady part. Okay. So on the top of her lady part, he kind of like, got his off or whatever. And then after they were done, Diddy start playing with it, and, they start getting passionate and things like that. So she basically said that was kind of their introduction into her dealing with Diddy and her dealing with other outside partners. Now, after she dealt with this male performer, she said that it was basically like opening up Pandora's box. All right. And she felt as though, well, hey, at least I'm getting something out of it, because her arrangement with Diddy was that he would provide her a home that was a price tag of $10,000 a month. And in exchange for him providing her a home that was $10,000 a month, he was able to, have fun with her while they entertain and allow men to have fun with her also. All right. So that's kind of how things started in their situation. Now, that was kind of a lot of what was going on yesterday. And then today, they went a little bit further into what the dynamics were, how she was also getting, you know, drugs and taking them across state lines, how she was setting up stuff with these guys, and all of this stuff that is crazy. Now, some people who are inside the courtroom feel as though she was a person that was not the same story as, like, she was telling a similar story as Cassie of her just being used and abused by all of these men and having to do raw and you know, all of these things. But she was significantly older than Cassie, and she was of a different situation than Cassie as far as she wasn't young. She was much older. She already had a baby daddy that was, you know, never mind. I don't want to accidentally say her name, but a lot of people were surprised that this was her circumstance or something that she had to deal with, being that the rival of whoever her baby daddy is. A lot of people described him to be a person who was just as, you know, wealthy. Now, I don't know who that is, you know, but yeah, people were confused. Now, let me pull down my green screen so we can get into the tweets and go forward. But so far, hopefully you guys are hitting the like button. Let me see what the likes are looking like. Let's see what the likes are looking like. Let's see. Oh, y'all playing with the like button. Quit playing. Okay. Talk to me nice and quit playing. Now, I know a lot of y'all are mad that I held Halle Bailey accountable, and I know a lot of you guys are upset with me that I do not agree with people manipulating and using self deletion as a form to try to get their partner to act right. And I know a lot of you guys are upset because you feel like, you know, everything a man does, they're at fault, and there's no accountability for women at all. And if the guy cheats, then it's totally okay for you to act however irrational, and it's fine. You know, that's the sentiment that I got, that you guys are upset. But hey, we're on to Diddy now, all right? We're going to move on to Diddy, and we're going to talk about something else, because apparently Halle has no accountability at all. She has no accountability for before she was pregnant, and all the accountability goes on to DDG, and she never ever had the choice to leave him in any capacity, and she always is the victim for everything. Like, she flips out. She says, hey, you know, you don't answer my call. I'm gonna use the knife. All of the things that would never be acceptable for a man is totally acceptable if you are a woman and if the other person is a man, okay? So, I mean, I get it that you guys are upset that is, you know, that I feel like, child, that's not acceptable for either person. And if it was a man, I would not give him any excuse, and neither would you. If a guy was dating a girl and he was getting backlash on social media because he decided to do a mermaid movie, and people were being mean to him because they wanted a white guy to do the mermaid instead of the black guy to do the mermaid, and he was dealing with a girl that was cheating on him at the same time, if that guy then starts telling the girl, hey, if you leave me, I'm gonna delete myself and I'm gonna harm myself. And if that guy stands outside her home and he grabs her pew pew, or he grabs the knife, there would be no excuses at all. But narcissism only happens with men, and only men are at fault. So, hey, we're moving on. Now, this is a perfect topic because I think everybody agrees that Diddy's wrong. So, don't be holding grudges and hit the like button. All right. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Hit the like button, child. Let's pull up these posts. All right, so let me move myself over so we could read what is going on. All right, so before the jury came in, they wanted to deal with some of the text messages between Cassie and Miss KK. And then it says, only text that should be omitted, not the photo. The jurors should know it's a screenshot, not a text, blah, blah, blah. They were going over some things. And then they also wanted to talk about the text you have, thousands of videos of my performing every weekend. We argue, Mr. Combs. Okay, so hold on. Let's go to when the jury comes in. All right. So the jury comes in, and this is the direct from the prosecution. And the prosecutor says, "Good morning. How many times did you travel to Vegas?" She said, "Once in Sean's plane. He was hosting an event. Then he wanted entertainment for the night, and we had that." "What do you mean?" She said, "And entertained, and we had hanky-panky." "What did going off the grid mean?" She said, "Getting free." "Did Sean call you a freak?" She said, "Yes. He wanted me to be wild and, frisky." "Did you ask Sean if the entertainers could wear condoms?" She said, "Yes. The first time with Don and another. Sean guilt-tripped me out of it. It was not something he wanted to see." "What was his tone?" "Condescending." "Did he say why he did not want the entertainers to wear a condom?" She said, "He did not want to see a rubber." "Did you raise it ever when sober and not in the hotel room?" "Yes." "Was this ever recorded?" "Yes." "One that I'm aware of. I'm trying to ask the entertainer if he can wear a condom. He's looking for it." And then the prosecutor says, "I'd like to call up this exhibit with an aide. Did you listen to this?" "Yes." "And did you read the transcript that's up on the screen?" "Yes." All right, so this is where they played the jury one of the freak-offs. Now, as he's gotten into this situation with this new Jane Doe, he transitioned the name freak-off to hotel nights. So in this context, when they say, the entertainers that they get, they're talking about guys who are coming into the bedroom with her to sleep with her and while Diddy watches. Now, they also, like I said, they changed the name Freak Off to Hotel Nights. And in this particular exhibit that they show the courtroom, it's a video where Diddy is basically recording and he's recording and she's basically saying, listen, hey, or she's looking for a condom and Diddy doesn't want her to look for a condom and he wants her to get to it. So it says, let's start at the 8-minute and 20-second mark. "When you said, 'I think in the chair,' what were you referring to?" She said, "Condoms." "What did you understand what Sean, when he said you were just taking the D?" "That we already had intercourse." "And when he said, 'if you don't touch yourself right now,' what was he saying?" "To just move on." So basically what happened was her and the guy, I guess, they had already shaboinged, okay? And then it must have dawned on her, wait a minute, he needs to put a condom on. So she goes searching for a condom. Diddy tells her, "Girl, get back to pleasuring yourself. Like, what are you doing? You messing up the vibe. Like, go and get yourself together and touch yourself or whatever." And so he was basically telling her, like, girl, you messing up the vibe. You already was taking it. Like, girl, go take some more D. All right. So that's basically what she's expressing here. It says, what did you understand him to mean? And then she said that we already had intercourse. And when he said, if you don't touch yourself right now, what was he saying? To just move on. Why did you think you needed permission from Sean for the man having hanky panky with you and your body to wear a condom? They said objection, and then they went on sidebar. Now they come back from sidebar, and the prosecutor wanted to know when when Diddy told you, girl, stop wasting our time looking for that rubber and get to it and start pleasuring yourself. Why didn't you say no? Like, why didn't you tell him no? You could have, you could have said no, put a rubber on. Why didn't you do that? She said he'd get agitated. How would intercourse with an entertainer end? She said he'd finish on me. Then what would happen with you and Diddy? Then after the guy finished on me and Diddy would do our thing and he would shaboing me. Would you clean up the cum from the other guy? Like when he finished on you, like would y'all clean it up? She says no. The prosecutor says, so when you got done with the first guy and he finished all the way to completion and it was on you, why didn't y'all clean it up? She said Sean liked it. He liked to play around with it. Then what? I'd take a shower and get ready for the next one. And then they're like, well, how many rounds would you go? And they said objection, overruled. She said every entertainer was different. Some 3. So she was banging and shaboinging up to 3 guys at a time on an occasion. Okay. So Diddy would want her to, do this guy, bathe, do this guy, take a shower, do this guy, and in between, these guys are coming with the fluid on her. And after they fluid on her, then he's playing with it. My whole thing is sometimes certain people who don't have the right diets, sometimes their fluids stink. And then when you put different fluids and mix and mingle that with a woman's fluid, that causes BV. And just because you're famous, we all human at the end of the day. So I don't know. I don't do drugs, so I don't know if when you're high, maybe things don't smell. I don't know. Maybe you can't smell when you are under the influence of the things that they were under the influence. I've never done any powdery stuff. I've never done any of the MDM and I've never done those things. So I'm not sure for the people who have, when you're under those type of powdery things, does it like stop your nose smelling so then you're just happy? And I don't know. But I just feel as though it's a lot of fluids, a lot of different fluids, a lot of friction, a lot of, like maybe your body adjusts. Maybe that's it. I don't know. But anyways, it says, so basically like, who would decide if you were tired and who would decide like when it was time to stop? So when they're trying to figure out like, all right, after you get tired of shaboinging all these guys, who determines when it's enough is enough? She starts crying. So as she starts crying and breaking down, the prosecutor wants to know, like, does she need a moment? And she starts crying and saying, I'm sorry, what was your question? How did you say you wanted to stop? She said, I'd say like, I'm hungry, make little faces. I'd send him like little cues. What would he say? He says, you're not getting tired on me, are you? Let's go out on a high note. Let's finish strong. And then she started to cry after that. So whenever her poom poom would get tired and she would get, and she said it would be up to 3 different entertainers and she would get to a point to where she's tired, he's giving her like the old sportsman pep talk of, come on, Tiger, finish strong, and encouraging her to continue to get shaboinged by these men. All right. And then it says, and then after she said that, she's just break down and cries. And then it says, would Sean what would he give you to keep you awake and keep you engaged in doing this exchange with these entertainers? She said, ecstasy. Did you ever cry after one of these hotel nights? Twice. Tell us about the first time you cried after one of these hotel nights. I thought it was a date night, one-on-one, but he said there would be an entertainer, but just a quick one. I hung on to that, but 18 hours, and after 18 hours and 3 rounds with the entertainer, Sean said he had to leave. After 18 hours of what? Can you imagine you linking up with the guy that you feel like is your man or your little, you know what I'm saying, your little sneaky link, and, y'all done engaged in threes a company situations where somebody come in, shaboing, blase blah, and then he like, you know what, we're going to have a date night. It's going to be me and you. And then y'all go to the hotel. You thinking it's you and your little sneaky link. And he said, you know what, on second thought, here's the entertainer. And then you got to go and shebang them for 18 hours. And then the guy that was your little bae or your little sneaky link leave. Child, she said after that, she cried her poor little eyes out, okay? She said she started crying her poor little eyes out. They said, were you with someone? I was with Sean. It was in the Waldorf in Beverly Hills early in our relationship. What did he say? He said, are you crying? Like, looking disgusted. Then he just sat there listening to music. I was clinging to him. He said he could move things around with him and family and I could go with him. I just wanted to be in his arms after all of that. And the second time you cried after one of these little hotel charades, she said, I was in the shower after one of these nights. And then they said, your memory spotty? What do you remember? She said, I was so high. I was having hanky-panky with Paul. Then I was in the shower with Sean. He said, stop it. I'm too high. Stop it. So she was in the shower with him. She's crying. And this was after her and Paul done did their shaboinging. And Diddy said, girl, you messing up my high with all that crying. Like, cut it out. Okay? I don't have time for you to be crying. I'm high. You messing up my high crying. Like, stop. All right? So, they're like, so who's Paul? And then she said, Paul was one of the entertainers. Were these hotel nights work for you? They said, objection. She said, it was work from start to finish. What did you do to try to get them to end sooner? She said, I try to have hanky-panky with the entertainers fast. What did you do to try to speed things up? I do foreplay and then bring them into the room. Sean would say, slow it down, more foreplay. What words would he use? They said, objection, time frame. And then so they wanted to know about when was this situation that you're talking about? And she said that this was around May or between May to October 2023 is the time frame that they're referencing. They said May of 2021 to October of 2023. What would Sean say? He says, I'm not ready to see that yet. How would you feel? Sidebar. So they wanted to make sure that this conversation is going in a direction that they wanted it to go in. All right. So then they say, I'd want to be with Sean at the end. Where would you go? To his residence? Was there any part of these hotel nights that you enjoyed? The part about being with Sean. Would you text him to say I love you? Did you text that you wanted to have hanky panky? Yes, with him. Did you text him you wanted to do the do and the shaboinging with others? She said yes. It was his fantasy. Did you did you tell you want to text? So I think that they mean, did he tell you what to text? And she said yes. He did tell you what to text, right? She said yes. He asked, what do you want? And be explicit. Why did you write these things? I wanted to make my lover happy. Look at this text from November 9th, 2021. What did you write? I wrote, I'm horny for you. You don't have to read this, but did you write this? And I guess it says, I want to S Paul's D. Why did you write that? I knew it would turn Sean on. Okay. So she's basically like, listen, I'm writing things that I know my man likes. And I'm writing things that set the mood for my man. And my man would love it if I sucked Paul's cucumber. And so because I knew that that would get the party started and satisfy my man, I text him and I basically said, hey, babe, I would love to S Paul's cucumber right now. I know that make you happy if you've seen me, globbing on Paul. All right. And then they said, they said, who's Paul? They said an entertainer. You text him you wanted to stop having hotel nights? She said, yeah. What did you write here? I'm so much more than being left in a dark hotel room. My heart is breaking. I don't want to play this role in your life anymore. I feel it's the only reason you pay for the house. We need to talk like the adults. How long had Sean been paying your rent? At this time, about 5 months or so. Did you see in the hotel rooms? Yeah, ecstasy, Molly, the powdery white stuff, the powdery pink stuff. She said, I believe it's called Tusi. Who gave them to you? Sean. Did you ever see any of the entertainers taking the mood enhancers? She said, no. That was my one rule. I told them they couldn't take mood enhancers. I didn't want them to be out of control while they were with me. How did ecstasy make you feel? It gave me, extra frisky energy. What did you feel? Why did you feel you had to take these mood enhancers? She said, otherwise it would be too real. I don't know. I feel like she starts crying and boo-hooing on the stand. She said, it would make things easier. Did you ever do hotel nights without mood enhancers? She said twice. Once with Paul. So because they're naming Paul left and right, guess who's probably the next witness after her? I would take a guess that it's Paul, possibly. So it says, why didn't you take drugs that time? I didn't want to do that to my body, but it's real, too real. So I asked Sean for a pill. Did Sean give it to you? Yes, I felt better. So, what about the second time that you did one of these shaboing sessions and you didn't do? She said, my partner was taking too many pills. He said, I'll do 30 days without mood enhancers, but let's have one last sobriety party at the El Mertage. How long did it last? She said, too long, 18 hours. What happened? She said, the first guy, I guess she shaboinged him. Then the second guy, she shaboinged them. And then she says, I was not feeling well. I threw up. I told Sean, I just threw up after I done shaboinged and did one, did two. And then the prosecutor says, okay, so what did you say? Like, what'd you say exactly? Or what did he say? He said, that's good. Now you're ready for the third guy. He's here. And it's like, huh? I done did shebang banged guy number one. Then after that, I done shebang bang guy number two. And then I'm not feeling well and I feel sick and now I throw up and you're like, oh, that's good. You got, now get ready for guy number three because he's here. Like, what? Oh, my Lord. That's just crazy. So she said, how did that make you feel? I was just disgusted. I was just repulsed. I was just too mad to myself. I was mad I had let myself get into this. This will be a good place for a break. And then the judge said, I agree. They went on break. So during the break, Combs in animated conversation with Agnifilo, Shapiro, and still talking with hands. All right. So after the break, they wanted to bring Jane and the jury back in. And she tells Jane, did Sean ever run out of mood enhancers during a hotel night? Yeah. What would happen after you guys would run out of party enhancers? He would call one of the assistants or butlers to bring more party mood enhancers. Sometimes it would be his security. Do you know what assistants would bring you guys these mood enhancers? It would probably be Brandon, Frank, John something. I think John. Let me show you a photo of Brendan. And then it says, yeah, that's him. He would bring pill bottles. There would be white powdery stuff. And he would also have, the greenery stuff too. Who from security did he call for you guys to have the party mood enhancers? She said, Sean called him Fa. Who else brought mood enhancers? It was a guy somebody by the name of Guido. He brought mostly ecstasy, Molly, and Xanax, and he brought the white powdery stuff. Did you take Xanax? Yeah, after I put Sean to sleep. Child. She said after she did all of these party mood enhancers, she would have to pop her a Xanny. Okay, after she done put this grown man to bed. Okay, she done shaboing this person, that person. Now she done put Sean to sleep. And at that point, I'm guessing, do Xanax make you relax? I'm guessing at that point she's relaxing. And she done put Sean to bed. Child. Now, if y'all have not hit the like button yet, child, quit playing with me. Okay, quit playing with me. And in them comments, talk to me nice, okay? Talk to me nice. And also, in addition, y'all know I do have a website, www.niquelatnight.com. Shout out to everybody who has been going to my website, purchasing my Talk to Me Nice fans, along with the other designs that I have. All right. my fan Never Trust. All right. These fans are on sale on my website. And if you were able to catch this particular design before it went out of stock, definitely send me a picture of you with your fan. These fans have been going like crazy, and I'm going to ship out another batch of orders today. So get them while you still can. This one is out of stock and sold out, but there are other designs that are on sale on my website. Now, with that being said, have you hit the like button yet? Is what I want to know. Have you hit the like button yet? Or are you playing games? Let me see if these likes looking a little bit better. Let me see if they're looking a little bit better because y'all are playing games. Y'all are playing with me right now. Also, I'm not sure if you guys remember the story of a woman by the name of Sade. Now, Sade was a woman who got dismembered by a guy. He was just found guilty. I bet she was a black woman. They went on a date, and after that, he basically unalived her, and there was suspicion that he had already done it previous to another woman. He was just found guilty today. So just giving y'all that news as well. All right. And let's check these likes. Y'all still playing with the like button, and I don't like that at all. But let's get back to reading some more. They don't like me right now, Stevie Ray, because, you know, Hallie can do no wrong. She could, you know, so they mad. They mad. Anyways, so they said, did you ever carry any of the mood enhancers for Sean? She said she would be the one carrying the work. All right? It would be some work of mood enhancers. They said, did you ever carry it for him? She said, yeah, she was carrying the mood enhancers from LA to Miami. KK told me I'll have security come out and give you the package. I asked, is this safe and okay? KK said, it's fine. Girl, I do it all the time. So when you got the package and KK gave you the package, where did you give Sean the package? In the bathroom of 2-Star Island? He opened it and saw some colorful pills, I assume. I don't want you to assume. Did you take the pills? Yeah, for a hotel night. It was ecstasy. Did you move any of that work for Sean another time? All right. So they like these big packages of these mood enhancers, okay, that contain the powdery substance, the peak substance, the pill, Did you ever take these mood enhancers and transport them for Sean any other time? She says, yes, in my luggage from LA to Miami. She said, there, Sean and I used them. They were X pills. Before May and October 2021, who reached out to the entertainers? Sean. Then after Sean would reach out to the entertainers, then who? Me. Why did you start choosing them? I didn't want it to just be a stranger. I assessed the dynamic of our relationship. We were walking adult films. And I saw a performer, she said we were watching an adult film, and I saw a performer and said, that one. Why did you want to choose that one? I couldn't get away from this. Who did you choose? Sly Williams. I called him chef. He had a passion for cooking. What were you and Sean doing? Well, we popped the X pill. We were doing sheboinging. We were sheboinging. we started talking about how big Sly was, okay? Sean was acting flirtatious about it, like, yeah, you see how big Sly is, and we're just, we're talking about his size and we're flirting about Sly and how big his package is, between his legs. And I sent Sly a message over on Instagram. Did he respond? Yes. I told him I was a fan of his work. Maybe we should meet up one day. We did a FaceTime. Sean was there. What happened after that? It got hot and steamy. I asked him to show me his wanker. All right. So she says she with Diddy. They was watching adult films. She sent the man a message. We, let's link up. They get on a FaceTime call. Once they on a FaceTime call, they getting flirting and turned up. And she like, show me your package. And I guess he just dropped his thing and her and Sean is just looking at him show his wank. All right. So, it says, he showed you his wanker? Yeah. And I was casting from my phone to Sean's television. How did you get Sly from Atlanta to LA? I told Sean I would arrange his flight. I booked it online on Expedia. Sean paid me back. Then what happened? He was cute and sweet. He was nervous too. It was my first time. First time what? Contacting an adult film star. Like, I had told him it was me and my partner, and he said, fine. So they like, fine. So the prosecutor said, okay, so what hotel did this go down at? She said the El Mertage, I believe. Now, when I went in person to the Diddy trial, they had one of the general managers of the El Mertage testify. And he basically talked about how the El Mertage, or however you say it, is a high-end hotel in Los Angeles, Beverly Hills area. And each guest is a high-profile guest. They would create a profile for the guest. And Sean's profile was under the name of Frank Black, Frank White, Ryan Lopez. It would go back from, I think, Janet, whatever Cassie's, like, her little fake name was, and it would go back and forth. And in the notes of the hotel, anytime Diddy would book a room at the El Mertage, they put in a note that said they automatically had to charge him a damage fee of $1,000 because he would always damage the rooms with candle wax and oil. So, and then they also had to put how to set up the room. So the El Mertage said that they had a profile, and in his profile, he wanted certain amenities when he booked a room with them. And also they had to set it up a certain way whenever they would go to like whatever room whatever floor he was on. They had to spray the hall down with air freshener. They had to set it up a particular type of way. And they always had to charge him an automatic damage fee to the room because he would always damage the rooms. They testified to that week 2. All right. So this guy or this Jane is talking about her and this Sly guy meeting up at the El Mertage Hotel. All right. So let's see. So she said the El Mertage. She said it was routine. The oils would come out. I'd be in a uniform. I'd dance. And then we would do the sheboinging. What was Sean doing? He was whacking on his wanker. Then who invited him the next time? I did. I would suggest Sly. He was familiar to me. Who is Sly? Hold on. Let me look this up. I ain't gonna put it on my screen, but who is Sly? Sly from Atlanta. Sly Diggler? Yeah. Mm-mm. Anyway, um, to see who that was, like, child. Mm-mm. No, ma'am, no ham, no turkey. Anyways, where else did you meet Sly? At the Trump Hotel. She said, let me look at his face again. Child, this is crazy. I don't want no damn sound. Hold on. This is research, child. I'm doing research right now. Oh hell no. Mm-mm. Absolutely not. Girl, no. Mm-mm. Absolutely not. Mm-mm. Ain't no way. Mm-mm. Child, get that off my phone. Anyways, sorry. Hell no. I like my stuff to be right. Mm-mm. That looked like medical ER visit. Mm-mm. Absolutely not. Mm-mm. Anyway, so they met Sly at the Trump Hotel in New York. She said, I would book his flights from Atlanta and you paid him afterwards. She said she would pay him between $2,000 to $4,000. Where from? Objection. Where did the cash to pay Sly come from? Sean, from the drawer. Sometimes we use Cash App. Was there a second adult entertainer you reached out to? Yes, Anton. I think Anton Harris. It was his stage name. I don't know his real name. Child, let's look up Anton. Hold on, let me see who's Anton. I'm doing research purposes. Child, who is Anton Harris? Is it Anton Harry? Child, I don't think that's him. Mm-mm. Is it a white man? Is it a white man? All I'm all I'm seeing under that is a LGBT type stuff. Let me take off the Harris part. Oh, maybe Anton Harden. This is probably the right person. Anyway, child X out of that. Not who you rocking with, Neek. Neither one. Absolutely not. Anyways, She said she think Anton Harris. I think it probably this Anton Harden person. Anyways, she said it was his stage name. I don't know his real name. We were watching Anton's films and I was really into him. I messaged him on Instagram. He was in LA. I invited him over. How did Anton respond? Positively. We were in my first place, my first house. What happened? The same. Sean watched. He was happy. Did you see Anton again? Yeah, sometimes at hotels in LA, sometimes in my apartment. Did you FaceTime with Anton and Sly? Yeah, when Sean and I were alone having our little hanky panky time. Why would Sean call them? He wanted something live. I was doing like sexting, FaceTime, and screen sharing to Sean's TV. I told Sly and Anton I was alone so they would feel more comfortable. Did you ask Sly and Anton to send you pictures of their wankers? Yeah, Sean wanted them. He would say, "Get it." Not he would say, "Get it." Like he would seek her to get the wanker pics for him. Can you imagine a guy that you into is like, yeah, get his wanker for me and send me his picture. Like, yeah, like let's get it live in here. And this the guy you're into because he's paying your rent and he's paying $10,000 a month in a home. She said, did Anton or Sly ever send you photos of their wankers when you were not with Sean? She said, yeah, I was polite and flirtatious, but not as flirtatious as when I was with Sean. Did you ever see Anton or Sly in person without Sean? No. Are these your texts with Sly? Let me show you. I was asking him for explicit videos, photos from him. That's what my partner wanted. What did Sly say? He said, I'm down. What did you say? I wrote, I'm touching myself. Then, what's your full name and date of birth? Why his full name and date of birth? To get him to where we was at, child. We tried to book that flight. What did you write? She was booking the flight for November 9th, 2021. When you received these explicit images, were you alone? Yes. I sent a blander message. Then he texted me in April 2022. Hello, beautiful. How's your day? Why did Jess book the flight? I was too high to type. He's be the entertainer. Huh? Were there any other entertainers? Paul and Don. Sean coordinated others. Between May 2021 and October 2023, how often were the hotel nights? Often. Every week. Every other week. After February 2024, where did this happen? 2-Star Island and in LA. In the LA resident you're still living in? Yes. After February 2024, how many times was y'all, doing these hotel nights? Maybe 5 times. How many different men did you have to shaboing? I don't know. Let's talk about some. Who's this guy right here? Oh, that's Don. When's the last time you shebang Don? August 2024 in Miami at 2-Star Island. I only saw Don in Miami. Who's this? Oh, that's Paul. When was the last time you shaboing Paul? The end of July 2024. Before that, very often. What did you think Paul did? He was a personal trainer for Sean in LA, Miami, and in Turks. How did Paul get there? Hold on, let's see. Personal trainer. Diddy's personal trainer, Sean. Let's see if we have a photo of him. Diddy's personal trainer, Paul. Is it this white man? Personal trainer alleges. Child, look at this. Look at this headline about the personal trainer. This this website came out. It says Sean Diddy Combs accused of drugging personal trainer and passing his body around like a party favor. Is this the guy Paul? Let me look and see if this is Paul, because I Googled Paul. It says, the alleged victim, identified only as Jane Doe, claims he was repeatedly essayed by men and women at the disgraced music mogul's parties in June 2022, including an unknown celebrity on whom he was forced to perform oral hanky-panky with. The famous person only identified as Celebrity A. Oh, so this is one of those lawsuits. Never mind. Never mind. I thought that was T on the actual Paul. Never mind. Never mind. Child, let's get back to it. So she said that she would shaboing Paul, and he was Diddy's personal trainer, and he would train for him in LA, Miami, and Turks. We could look up Paul, Turks, and Caicos, but who got time for that? How did Paul get there? He'd book his own travel, or he would already be there. Who's this guy? A man named Leo. I met him through Sean for one of these hotel nights. I met him on my birthday. When was the last time you shaboinged Leo? 2023. Where did you see Leo? In LA. What else did you call him? Italian. Who's this guy? A guy Sean brought into a hotel night in 2021. What happened? Sean said he had someone coming over. I was repulsed. It was in the El Mertage Hotel. He looked sweaty. He didn't look nice. He kind of stunk too. He was stinking and everything. And I was just like, he don't look like he even bathed or nothing. Stinking, sweating, looking dirty. Girl, what you do? I tried to make him work. I tried to make it work. I mean, I tried to seduce him with my body. He just kept sweating so much. Like, ugh. I tried to look at Diddy and let him know, like, I'm not feeling this. I'm over here in my lingerie. I'm over here in my heels. And he just sweating and stinking. And I'm trying to signal to Diddy, like, hello, like, you don't see that this guy's stinky and sweaty? Like, okay, whatever, He said, what did you do? I tried to make it work. I tried to seduce him. What was the guy wearing? Sean, he wasn't wearing nothing. He was naked. So what did Sean say? Do you want to taste it? And then I said, I'm not feeling this. So what did Sean do? He laid me down and started shaboinging me. Where was the man at? Hovering over me and sweating on me. So wait, how was the man hovering over her and sweating over her if Sean was the one shaboinging her? Were they all in the bed like together at the same time and he was like, Child. So was he in back of, or was he leaning over Diddy while he was over her? Like, I don't know. Or was Sean on one side shaboinging and he was on the other side sweating? I don't know. Anyway, she just said he was hovering over her while Sean was doing his deed with her. And then what happened after that? Sean told me to look at the man's wanker. But it wasn't happening. Sean told him, no worries. Don't worry about it. She don't want to get down with you today. And then the man left. Then what happened? Sean told me he had someone else coming. Paul. All right. So he like, all right, you don't want to shaboing him? He too sweaty and stinky. Let's get somebody else over here. All right. So Sean called somebody else over here. We're going to let him go. You don't want to shaboing him. All right, let's get somebody else over here. So Sean called another guy over so that she can shaboing him, And she said, basically, Paul was coming. She said I was blindfolded and Sean wanted me to touch him. I took a liking to Paul. I was more comfortable with Paul. I thought he was handsome and nice, and he had warm energy. Did you want to have shaboing session with him? No, but if I had to have a shaboing session with anyone, I guess it wasn't too bad if it was Paul. At least it was somebody I liked, and I thought that he wasn't stinky and sweaty, All right, so what is this a photo of? This is a photo of a man named Michael. I saw him twice in 2022, or it probably was 2023. In addition, it was in LA, and Sean said something new was coming. Then, like, just a bit later, Sean was having small talk with this guy on the balcony, and he invited me out. I thought Michael was attractive. He was from a website. All right, so who's this other guy? I don't know his name. I met him on my birthday in 2023, one of these hotel nights. So what happened? Sean told me to come to Miami. We would be alone. He was so sweet. We were eating sushi at Nobu in the hotel, and Sean said, we have entertainment coming. I gulped and said, an entertainer? It's your birthday, girl. Yeah, we finna get the freaking off. Why did you do? Why? So what'd you do? I just accepted it. Why? I don't know. Upstairs, this man comes in. It was just routine. At that point, I'm like a robot. I'm getting the guy comfortable, and she starts crying on the stand. So she starts breaking down, and then they're like, she starts crying, blah, blah, crying. Do you need a break? Jane, you said you were robotic? What do you mean? I have done so many of these. Like, I can just tune out. My partner likes to see. I just turn into this person. What do you mean you turn into another person? A person who can just get boinged and boinged and boinged and boinged. Like, my man like it. So I'm going to just turn myself off and, let my man see me get bang, bang, banged. I was much quicker with this person. He felt more like a stranger to me than anyone. I don't want to do this on my birthday. I asked Sean for a condom. Where was he? He was behind this man. He gave me these dirty looks like, you better not be asking for no effing condom. I could just hear that. What else did you hear him say? Objection. I didn't want to sour the mood. He didn't want me to use a rubber. So, It was what it was. Why you didn't want to sour the mood? So she starts crying. I just didn't want my partner unhappy with me. Do you need a break, Jane? No, I'm okay. What happened next? If you're ready to tell us. Sean gave him a condom, but then walked away. He was so disappointed. The guy ended up finishing, I can't remember where. Like, I don't know if it was on my woo-ha or where he finished. Then what happened? He left. We switched rooms to a bigger suite. And then what? Sean was more loving. He was happy that I went through with it and shaboing this guy. He was like celebrating. He had cake there and balloons. Then Sly comes. It was just hours and hours of that. Pleasing this guy, doing so much, just doing all of it. Foreplay, things I know my partner wants to see, going back and forth. It was morning. Then what did Sean say? That Don was coming. What did you say? Nothing. It was fine. I shaboing the first guy. He was a stranger. I shaboing Sly, whatever. And then this other guy, Don's coming. Cool, whatever. It was fine. Why did you do that? Why'd you want to shaboing all these different guys? I love my partner. What did you do with Don? We shaboinged. Let's break for lunch. So they had a quick sidebar and they wanted to talk about the something that they had going on. So anyways, so they come back afterwards and I want to know what y'all think so far. I'm late to reading this, so I know some of y'all probably heard some of it, but let me take a break from reading and let me drop the link for anybody who wants to come down. Now, there were some people who feel like she kind of was a mess up for the prosecution because they felt as though she was with it, all right? They felt like she was older, she was with it. And then there's some people who feel like she was manipulated and she was in a bad space. So as I read through this, if there's anybody who wants to tell their thoughts so far on what Jane is going through. And again, like I said, 50 Cent, he has been trolling Jane nonstop. Like I said, I don't know what the correlation is, but he's been trolling her nonstop today. Anyways, let's get back to the post. And did I post the... Okay, so yeah, so that's the StreamYard link. So they come back from lunch and then they show her another man. And it says, have you seen this man? Sean brought him to our hotel room in LA. I was in a robe and lingerie, the whole wardrobe I usually had. What happened in the living room of the suite? I knew something. I knew this was something I could not fake. What do you mean? I was repulsed by him. I tried for 30 minutes. Then I told Sean, can I talk to you in the bathroom? There I told him, I can't. I tried, but no. I told Sean, I'm sorry, but no. How did Sean respond? He was irritated, agitated. Then he left and another man came. Did Sean talk to you first? No, he just replaced him with another man. Who's this guy? A man I met in New York. I told him I didn't want to go to New York if it was just to set me up with a man. He said, no. One-on-one. It's just me and you, baby. It's not no other man. It's just me and you. So she went. So they said, "Did you get Wi-Fi on the plane?" She said, "Yes." Sean sent me a text and said, "Do you want entertainment tonight?" How did you feel? I was disappointed. My thought of seeing my lover was shot down. Where did you go in New York? The Trump Hotel. I saw the assistant setting up the room with the red lights for a hotel night. I took this picture. What happened next? I told Sean, I don't want to do this. He was just like super defensive. On the way back to the room, Sean gave me a pill. What was it? It was X. I took it. The man was in the room. We had small talk. I let the man touch my leg a little bit. I took Sean to the bathroom and told him, I can't do this. How did Sean react? He was irritated, agitated. I called another performer. Why? That's a hard question. At that point in the relationship, I knew that's what my partner wanted. Was Sean paying your rent? Yeah. Did he mention it? Objection. So when was the time frame of this situation? Was this after Sean started paying your rent? Yes. I called Sly. He was excited. He flew to New York that night from Atlanta. Then what happened? It was nice. We had sheboying session in front of Sean at the Trump Hotel. Me and Sean had to go our separate ways, but I didn't want Sly to feel we were just leaving him. So cash was brought to the front desk for him by an assistant. Which one? Joey. And who's this man? Oh, I had a sheboying session with him too in front of Sean. And another? A Spanish buff man. He was a bit odd. I felt he was pulling out his scent to smell during hanky panky. I don't know. In front of Sean? Yes. All right. So was there like another one? A man who looked more European at the El Mertage. We had a sheboying session twice. Which entertainers did you see the most? Paul and Sly. Which ones did you reach out to? Paul, Sly, Anton, and Don. Did you ever arrange hotel nights as a surprise for Sean? Yeah, twice. Like Valentine's Day, I wanted to make it special for Valentine's Day, or the return from a trip. You saw cash during these hotel nights? Where? It would either be in the drawer or the nightstand. When Sean ran out of cash, what did he do? He made a phone call to his security or assistants or to KK, and then they would bring the cash and it would appear. How much would they bring? A good amount. To whom did Sean hand cash? He gave cash to Paul, Don. He'd pay at the end of a sheboying session. What would Sean say before he brought out his phone to record? Nothing. Or, it's just for me. Okay, so he would pull out his phone and he would start recording their sheboying sessions, and he would advise them, "Oh, don't worry. This video is only for me. Don't worry. This is just for me. I'm just collecting data for my own collection. Just for me." All right. Pimp Tight says she was doing a lot of sheboying. All for $10K a month in paid rent. Child. And what would y'all do it? I mean, you get a nice pad for $10,000 a month. It's gonna be a nice house living arrangement, and you get that paid for. All you gotta do in exchange for a nice house is sheboying however many guys Diddy wanted. Like, would you do it? You go to fancy luxury hotels. You go to New York. You'd go to Miami. You go to LA and you'd be in these luxury hotels, the Trump Hotel, the El Mertage, and you'd have the baby oil, the Astroglide, and you'd be sheboinging. But your rent would be paid and your house would be nice. And you get to ride on private jets and be with Diddy. Nina says she would do it, but she would use protection. Diddy said you can't use protection, so how you gonna implement something that he not gonna let you do? He ain't gonna let you do that, so how you gonna add something that he ain't letting none of the other girls do? You just gonna add it because you just want to? I don't know about that one. I don't know how you gonna be able to do what they couldn't do, child. So they said, to whom did Sean hand cash? Oh, I already read that part. All right, so what directions would Sean give? He would say, put the baby oil on the man. Touch yourself. When you knew the camera was on you, how did you react? It was just part of it. Did Sean ever record you while you were not on mood enhancer, party enhancers? No. Did you act like you enjoyed it? Yeah. Why? I wanted to put on a good show. What fantasy talk did you engage in? So much. Role play, a fantasy. I'm sorry. There are just so many memories. He would create characters. I'm going to show you some exhibits. Not on the council screen. How is this? Oh, that's me and Don. The next one is me and Sly. And this, oh, that's me and Paul. Oh, that's me and Leo. Oh, that's Anton and myself. Was Sean present for all of these sheboing sessions? Yeah. I wore the stripper shoes on the whole time. What would happen with baby oil? It would drip down in the shoes. I would try to keep my balance. Did Sean ask you to get your tatas pierced? Yeah. I said it would turn him on. Who set up your tatas piercings appointment? KK. Then after that, what? They got caught in my lingerie and my tatas got infected. After that, I took the piercings out. What did Sean say? He said, where are my piercings? This the last time I see you without them. Did your back hurt? Yeah, from bending over so much. Where else did you get sore? I got sore in my private. My pum pum was sore. Did you tell Sean? No. Why you didn't tell him your pum pum was sore? I just didn't want it to be negative. I didn't want him to know that it was hurting down there. Why did you keep going? I'm not sure. So they went on a sidebar. And then it says, do you have an estimate of how many times you told Sean you didn't want to have these hotel nights with these sheboing sessions and these entertainers? I don't have an estimate. Did you ever write it? Yeah. And sometimes I'd have the courage to text it to him. What did you see in your text messages? That I had been texting it since 2021. How I felt. What is this? I just, in November 2021, I felt jealous. I saw he was doing things with another woman on their IG stories. Young Miami. Why did you feel jealous if you knew he was dating other women? I came to do hotel nights with Don and Sly. Then he gives quality time to another woman? All right. So it sounds like him and Young Miami go Instagram official, and she's over there with her poom poom hurting, and she's doing all of this stuff to satisfy him, and she don't get to go Instagram official with him. He goes Instagram official with this other woman. Now, I'm going to guess that other woman is Young Miami. All right. And she started feeling some type of way. Like, all I get is to bang Sly and to bang Don and to bang Paul. And she get to be shown on your Instagram? What? So they say, so what is this text that that you wrote? She said, I need a breather and a break from you. Play this exhibit. It's a voice note. Combs' voice. She asked me to work out. This is the time you gonna be cursed at me? I don't have a bunch of guy friends. Don't matter if I just effed her. Be sad. Go crazy. I don't deserve being honest with someone. How often did Sean call you crazy? Often. It made me feel confused. What did you say? She didn't just come to the gym. I don't even care who you laying up with. I wanted that time with him. I said, you just want the hotel-ish. What happened here? I had a shaboing session with Leo. I was high. It made my partner happy. I was okay with it. How many phones did Sean use then? He had 2 phones. He started dating another woman, and he did a big birthday for her. How did you see it? On Instagram. What did you say? I see what you're going for her. Why do you play me? She's say she just a business partner. Then you say she's spending money on you. How would you feel if I said a man was spending money on me? All right. So this one might be my young Miami. I don't know. Young Miami, one of these people that she done caught on Instagram. I'm going to assume. And then they said, so then you wrote, I feel cheap. After your first hotel night in May of 2021 with Don, what did you do next? We were out on the yacht. We would just sleep after the hotel nights. What did you write in this note? I wrote, why am I just here? Why you just got me here for your freaky desires? Like, is there more to me than just your freakiness and shebanging these men? She like, why I gotta just be here for the freaky stuff? Oh, y'all said the other one was Joy? It was somebody. The gym, working out. Okay, I see what y'all did there. Maybe. All right. So, all right. So after your first hotel night, all right. So, did you send this to Sean? She said no. I did not have the courage. And this note, I wrote, you were partying with another girl. You just want me for debauchery. I'm done being used by you. Trashing my house with dirty debauchery. I'm done. And what was this? Right after I sent my birthday having a shaboing with these men in the hotel room, Sean went on vacation with another girl he was dating. How did he respond to your text? He wrote, I didn't tell her about your birthday. What did he write to you next? That it looked like I had a nice birthday dinner with my girlfriends. Who paid for that dinner? Sean. But was he there? No. And here, when you said you were tired after 3 men, what did he write to you here? He wrote, I'm tired of you throwing this shaboing stuff in my face. Let's just be friends. What did you think he meant? Anytime I brought up the hotel nights, he would feel some type of way. Okay. What did you write? Are you breaking up with me? So she started crying on the stand and she said, you're the only man in my life. You took someone else to the place I have dreamed about? Where? Turks. What did he write? He wrote, I'm tired of these long texts telling me what I'm doing wrong. I wrote, what am I doing wrong? Like, I'm letting these guys shaboing me. And I'm sucking their D, and they're sticking their wankers, and we're doing these sessions. Like, what am I doing wrong? Like, why are you taking other women to the islands and not me? Okay. So they sent the jury out, and it says, counsel to Jane Doe, I want to bring to the court's opinion that there are YouTube accounts that are actively trying to find out Jane's identity. Where we find contact information, we reach out. We are recording live streams. All right. So sounds like they are trying to probably go after DJ Academics, because DJ Academics had a whole live trying to find out who Jane Doe was. So it sounds like they saying, and it could be anybody, but my guess is DJ Academics, because DJ Academics had a whole live stream like, oh, this is who Jane is. And he, he was like, oh, Jane's baby daddy just texted me right now, and Jane's baby daddy just said, look at his Instagram. It could be talking about Academics. I don't know. But it says, do you have evidence if these people are in the courtroom or in the overflow room? Jane's counsel, if we have found that, we would ask for them to be banned from the courtroom or the overflow room. Make an ex parte filing. I'll ask the marshals to investigate. All right. And then it says, so this is Jane's counsel. They said, if someone published her license, it would violate your order. Send me what you can. I'll consider it even over the break. All right. And so I guess this is the order. By email 10:30 a.m. to the chambers, the judge, it says, press application to docket and unseal the government and defense's communication to chambers. Inner City Press has been covering the above this morning. Before the jury came in, both the government and the defense referred to multiple communications to the court about evidentiary and issues, but these are now on pacer. The application letter argues that many, if not all, of these are judicial documents to which the public... What? Anyways, I thought that had to do with it. Anyways. All right, so Jane is back on the stand, and they are basically bringing to the court's attention that there are people live streaming, finding out who Jane is. Now, it says, please pull up this exhibit. What is this? A note on my notes. Were you writing what you were feeling at the time? Yes. I wrote, you lied straight to my face. To use me for a hotel night before your trip? When you took a break from Sean, where did you travel? France. Sean started texting me again and again. Paris, Paris, Paris. How did it make you feel? That he cared, but I knew I had to stay strong. I went away for 5 days. He was adamant that we would see each other again, or that we would see each other. I missed him too. Why? I love him. Soon we were planning to go to Turks. I'd go to Miami first. What did Sean write to you? He said, a night of debauchery, then to the beach. I said, no, we have reconnected. He said, cool. Did that turn out to be true? No. What did you do in Miami? We bickered about Paris. He said his girl can't just up and leave like that. What is this a picture of? We had a dinner. This was our dinner. What happened after the dinner? He took a pill and we went to a hotel. We were watching adult stuff, and Sean said, "Do you want Don?" I said, "Yeah." "Why did you say yeah?" "I was just used to it." Then we were able to go to Turks. And then what happened in Turks? Paul came. What happened? I'm back in an outfit. I'm going to try to do another round. It was really painful. I couldn't do the shaboing session anymore. My poom poom was hurting. Why not? I was extremely sore. My poom poom was sore and burnt. Like, okay, they don't say burning. Let me. I'm over here adding shit. That's not funny, but can you imagine? I cannot imagine, child. Cannot imagine. She said her poom poom was on fire. She didn't say it was on fire, but I imagine it was on fire. Anyways, she said she was sore, it was painful, and Sean tried to lube her up. You know, he tried to lube me up. He said, "You can't take any more D?" I threw the bracelet and said, "You only brought me here to suck D for you?" Child. And that's the that's the tweet that we started with at the start of the stream. She said, "Nigga, I just shaboinged old boy in Miami. Like, okay, cool. Now we on a vacation with you." And I'm guessing maybe if her stuff was sore, if it's true that he does have a Tootsie Roll, she probably thinking like, you know, I can handle a little Tootsie Pop. But if you getting a big, long, daddy long leg, big old bazooka of a wanker, and you already took a bazooka of a wanker, and you ain't got nothing in between to kind of let that simmer down, she like, "Nigga, I thought it was just gonna be you and the little Tootsie Pop. I could have handled that. But you got me here, my poom poom hurt, and you want me to take another big old King Kong Wang Wong, and I can't do it. I'm tired of sucking D for you. You just want me to suck some wank for you, to look at me sucking wank for you to get pleasure off of. What do I get out of it? My poom poom hurts." Oh, she like, she hurt. The hell, you just got me in it, taking it, hugging it, taking it, taking it, taking it. The hell? So, let me see. Where was I at? Okay, they said this is after it was said nothing in the order could have a chilling effect on the media. More should be said. Okay, so wait, let's see. I'm trying to find my place where I was. All right. So she said, after I'm telling him, like, you just want me to suck some wanky for you, he told me to apologize to Paul. Like, you better apologize to Paul. I messaged her and said, I was sorry how I acted, that I was really glad he come out to see me. Who told you to do that? Sean. What did you write to Sly? If he could come to Turks, I told him he'd need a passport and a vaccination. What did Sly respond? He said, I'm willing, but I don't have my vaccination card. Why did you do this? To make it up for Sean that I didn't want to suck Paul's wanker. So I'm like, well, at least I can do Sly. I like doing it with Sly. So we tried to get Sly out there to make up for me not wanting to suck Paul's wank. All right. And then they said, why did you write this way to Sly and Paul? I wanted them to feel good, like they were not being used. Why? I just do. What was the love contract that y'all made in March 2023? He asked, how much did I want per month? I said 15,000. He said 10. Then he started paying your rent? Yes. Who's paying your rent now? Sean. What else did Sean pay for? My teeth. What do you mean? Sean didn't like my teeth. I got new veneers. He also paid to furnish the house. My allowance just didn't do it. I used 3 credit cards. I had promised him an all-star party. What's that? I'd bring the top 3 guys all in the same night. Why? I was with my lover and he liked that. I told him I have to be awake at 8 a.m. Sunday. I said, the last time I got sick. This first text, what is this? He felt hesitation from my all-star party idea and he asked, does your poom poom hurt? You're not being straight with me. And then, so a minute later, then what? He quoted my text asking for help with more furniture for the house. Here Sean writes, Rico is ready. Who was that? Maybe the man named Michael, or wait, maybe it was roleplay and Sean was Rico? You don't know? I don't. Why did you send Sean a photo of a pink toilet paper? To show that my period was about to come down, that I needed a night off to let's postpone. What did he write back? You're getting your hair done for nothing. I'm done. What did you mean? Movie night was not on my mind. What was that? We would not have an entertainer. We just watch our own movies of the hotel nights. We called it movie night. Child, movie night is when he filmed her banging other men and then they would have a movie night watching the films of her banging the other men and that was their movie night. Like, yeah, let me throw on all the videos of you banging other men, and we're gonna call that a movie night. Whew, child. What did you write? I wrote, why do you talk about the father of my child? All because you don't get your way one night and bust a nut? What did he say back in this voice message? I don't have time, baby girl. You need to get on your job. How did you interpret that? Making sure he's happy, including these nights. How did you respond? That he always brought up paying for the house. It felt like, I don't know, like a guilt trip. I think this is a good time to break for the day and week. Jurors, thank you for staying late. Avoid any coverage about the case. All rise. Then the jury leaves. There are 2 exhibits that were objected to. Notes this victim wrote, calling Mr. Combs a liar because he has multiple women. Said in the opening, judge put in the letter in the docket. So that was what happened on today. And I'm just like, child, A mess. A mess, a mess, a mess. You said, what's her name? Mm-mm-mm. Right. A lot of what they were just using right now, they were going between text messages and they were also going between her notes in her phone. So, you know how you have a thought and you write a note in your phone and it creates like a timestamp of when you wrote it? So they like she cursing him out in her notes, but not, trying to pump herself up on what she gonna write and say to him. And they use that as evidence. Okay. Child. Stevie Ray said, if you don't know by now, so that's all about that. She's expected to be on the stand for several days. And I'm assuming that they probably gonna get Sly and they probably gonna get Paul and Don to testify too. Now I don't know if they're going to get each and every one, but they're gonna call in one of these adult people to corroborate that they flew out to Turks and they flew out to this place or that place, and they're gonna go on the stand, and if Diddy paid them and flew them out to do a adult act on her and shaboing her for money, and they flew out across states, that is called shaboing trafficking. And that is one of the predicate acts that they would have to prove in order to get him on RICO. So once Sly or Paul or Don testifies that they were flown in from Atlanta to Miami to LA to New York to Turks and Caicos to this to that, and they were paid $2,000, $4,000, that is shaboing trafficking. Okay, a lot of people were like, where's the shaboing trafficking? I didn't see it with Cassie. Well, that's what that's called. Okay, that's what that's called. So, y'all let me know what y'all think down below. I will talk to y'all later. I'm still debating on whether I'm going to go to New York or not. I really don't know. I feel like it is a million content creators out there. I also feel like I don't know. I don't know. So I will see and decide and debate, because it's definitely much better when you get the nuances of being there and stuff. So yes. So I'll talk to y'all later. Catch y'all later. You said it doesn't matter. We want to hear from you. Aw, thank you. All right, y'all. Catch y'all later. Bye. You said if you go, you gotta stay for the rest. You can't go, then leave us hanging again. I know. I know. My daughter, okay, so this week coming up is her last week in school. My only thing is, while she's in school, I just don't be wanting to, like, I don't know. I feel like once she's out of school and she's not bound to that, I feel like it would be easier. But being flown out for something is not necessarily synonymous with trafficking. It is if you're getting paid for the service to do an illegal act. Booking somebody to shaboing you and paying them for it and flying, that's a crime. That's a crime. Yes, he was guilty on all counts. The guy who was in the Sade Robinson case. But all right, y'all. See y'all on the next one. Peace out.